Hello, humans, ghouls, mutatefuls. Welcome to Channel Beware Mutate Zombies. I'm Mara, Mutate Zombie, and you don't need to beware me because you need to beware technology more. So this video is going to be very, very crunchy. Streamlabs decided to switch up my audios. So it switched my mic, it switched my headset. I have two different things. So that was fun. And it also decided to just like record the main screen of the game, even though the game was not showing the main screen. So it did not move. So there is gameplay missing from the beginning, which is why you are looking at a map right now, as opposed to anything else that was actually happening. And there's also really crunchy audio. I cut out my audio as best I could, like me speaking. I cut that out as best I could. But there's going to be silence because I was talking and I need to cut that out. And there's going to be very crunchy audio in the back, like from the actual game. So I apologize in advance, and the next time this will be better, I promise.
Outside the small thicket of apple trees, the phrase "tended to by John Chapman" is carved into a fence post. Nearby, a hound lies on its side, perfectly still. Flies buzz around its ears. But a grizzled man pauses at his digging to shoo them off.
Help him, Dick.
There's an extra shovel. With it, the two of you make short work of the grave. He tells you about his beliefs, why he's raising apple orchards in the middle of the country. It's a sin to graft, he tells you. Hurts the tree. Eventually, the hole is deep enough.
Bear
He
witness.
stoops to the ground and lowers the pup into the earth. Tears flow freely. "I'll see him again in heaven," he tells you. "Our souls are bound by love." He wipes his eyes. "I don't think I can bear to stay here, though. Maybe I'll set out again."
Aww. Dad.
Clouds roll together to fill the sky.
Find cover.
You shelter beneath a rocky overhang. Above, the clouds turn gray and purple and blue. Lightning arcs between them. The hairs on the back of your arms stand on end.
Watch the sky turn.
The lightning is so strong that it seems to open a path in the haze above you. You are sure you see massive talons curved around the clouds.
Oh.
The thunder is so immense that the ground trembles. Your lips and hands tingle from the electric charge that fills the air until the dancing lightning passes on over the hills.
So I'm going to try to read whatever it is that comes up. Again, past Mara here, apologizing for the awfulness. I'll be coming in every so often to read what I see on the screen. If I can see on the screen. Oh my goodness gracious. This is such a small screen. I will try my best to read what's going on as quickly as possible because I was probably reading faster. Okay, yeah, I was in Washington, D.C. We already explored it, so no need to read it, apparently. Or did I read it? I think I read this. It's hard to look at these shining buildings in the direct sunlight. You feel like an ant crawling among the tombs of giants. Away from the monuments, though, you find a city that's a little more human. Yeah, I remember reading that. And then I went to go earn money because I had no money. Of course, I looked for work. And oh my gosh, that is so tiny. I can't read that at all. I think I was watching someone's dog. I don't remember. And yeah, I didn't buy anything because I wanted it to be full. So that's what happened there. And I know there's something else I did. There's like a story or something somewhere. It's somewhere. Where is it? Come on. Oh, I was trying to hitchhike, right? Hitchhiking sucked, by the way. They would like drive me somewhere and then I would be let off of the car ride somewhere really lame, like right here, right here. I, they could have taken me to Richmond. They could have. Instead, they're like, nah, you can be let off in the fields. Bruh, just take me to Richmond. It's right there. There's a campfire right there. Come on, man. But no, they wanted to be lazy. They didn't want to take me there. Okay, so yeah, there's no more stories here because this happened. So cool.
Sorry, friend, but I gotta ask you not to get no closer unless I can see your hands at all times.
Okay.
Look too clean to be one of us. She don't look like the company sent you neither. All right, come and share my fire spell. But don't linger. These hills is full of ears. Don't think just 'cause you can't see no one that you're safe.
Okay.
And I'll give you cornbread. Don't be so sure of me neither.
Okay.
And you tell me something sad? Sometime you just want a story that goes with how the world already is.
Where's the story that makes me sad? Yeah, this one.
Damn, that one hurts.
Right?
But it's a good hurt. It's sorrow's one thing we all share. What's freedom? When the community decides what it's worth, setting the value of things together? You mean when you don't answer to nobody? Just ain't possible, my friend. Anyway, I need to think about something else. Know any scary stories? Any spooky stuff?
Oh yeah, I've got lots. Jersey Devil.
Working hard to scare me, ain't you? That's a good one.
You're welcome.
Oh, sure, I know sadness. Sometimes I get to thinking that just because you're right doesn't mean you ever get your rights. Times like that, I feel like all them cold flecks are just settling in me. Like I'm gonna become part of the mountain's guts, one way or another. Anyway, I need something to laugh about. Got any funny ones?
Yes. Where's the one about the brother? There we go. Four identical men.
Oh boy, you watch out now, I'll start chuckling. The past.
Oops.
I remember looking between my mama's ankles down the road. Every evening, she'd be whispering. Still don't know if she were counting the workers or praying about them. See anything exciting out there on the road? Mostly I just seen dogs.
Where is bootleg? That was exciting to see.
You'd be popular at mealtime where I'm from. You'd keep a whole crew glued, I bet. Authority? Bosses? You ain't worth nothing to them. You're like a pickaxe or a coal cutter. Damn shovel. You break, you get replaced. It's almost like they're proud of that. See anything exciting out there on the road? Mostly I just seen dogs.
Let's see. What else? Exciting. No. Exciting. Arsonist.
Brings me back. There was a time when me and Big Ben could just enjoy exciting stories like this one. Innocent. Fortune? That's what they promise. They tell these men, get on the train. There's work for you on the other end. They say, pack up, bring your families. Come on, earn your keep in the land of the free. So they pack up. These men quite a ways from their home already. And if they make it to the mine town alive, the company tells them, gotta use our tools. You take it out your first month's pay. Train ticket here too. Nothing you get doesn't come from us. First day you go down to work, you might even be in debt already. What can they do but go down all in a line, like beasts into the dark? Morning. I gotta get going. Headed up that way. Won't be specific for my safety and yours. If you want to find me, then do it. Talk again about these things. No worker neither. Worker ain't Virginian, ain't Christian, white, colored, Irish, Polish, nothing. A worker is a worker. And we all gotta work. If you're one of them, if you think I sound red, you best come out and say so. Get it over with.
And here I am trying to plan my route because I like to plan where I'm going next to make sure I'm going the right direction. So Kentucky, maybe Indiana, maybe Ohio, but definitely Kentucky. Kentucky for surezies.
His clothes are expensive, but unkempt. A tailored jacket stretched and warped out of its best fit by long days on the road. His thinning frame weighs down the boxcar next to yours. You got a light, friend?
Sure.
You offer a match, which bends and nearly snaps as he scratches it against the pitted iron edge of the boxcar. Thanks, he mumbles, perching one last cigarette on his lip.
So where are you going?
Don't rightly know where I'm going. You notice how deeply wrinkled his clothes are. It's as though a huge hand plucked him from a high society party and crumpled him up like a sheet of paper. Don't rightly know how I got going, either.
Why?
They built a railway just past Missy Hudson's estate. Damned racket ruined our soiree. Might have been a few bottles of Armagnac too many when I walked down the tracks to tell them to keep it quiet. He drags on the cigarette, but you never see him exhale.
Okay, no idea what this says. It is way too blurry, but I remember that this is the story of the little boy being left in the woods by his dad. That story, the second version of, the kid like following his deadbeat dad into the woods and being left. It's changed now to wild kid living in the woods with the bones of his father. Still sad, but that's what it changed to. And that I remember because it's still sad. This one I also barely remember what these kids are talking about, but it's that story about the mill. You remember the haunted mill? Yeah, now the guy who owns the mill, or the ghost of the owner of the mill, now grinds his victims to dust or something like that. These kids are demented. This game is demented. I love it. I'm here for it. For surezies.
He leans against a fence and turns to face you as you pass him by. At his back is a bag full of bird seed. He assures you that the gawky birds perching on his body are the last remaining passenger pigeons.
I thought they were extinct.
They look extinct to you? You're not sure those dull gray pigeons look anything like the pictures you've seen of passenger pigeons, though you can't help thinking they stare at you a little too intently. Say, you like birds?
Sure or not really? Sure.
They're lovely creatures. Guileless, really. Hunted damn near to extinction, weren't you? He strokes one of his birds under the chin. You think you see drips of blood flecking the creature's dirty gray head.
Why would you make this why would you make this a horror story all of a sudden?
You sense it's about time you start moving on. You be kind to the little birds now, you hear? You hurry along the road, though the flapping of ungainly wings seems to follow you for hours.
So from this point on, I was thinking of maybe the guy here saving the birds from poachers, and that's why they're covered in blood. Or maybe the birds attack people like the movie Birds. But also be aware, because this next story, it's not even the story, it's the character. This character Mason, I kind of freak out a little bit. I'm not gonna redo the freak out, but I freak out. You can see why.
When everything is left you, all that remains is a peculiar peace.
I mean, come on. That's freaky. That is freaky. We were not expecting this, right? No one was expecting this. I wasn't expecting this. Were you expecting this? So yeah, I freaked out for a little bit.
It's hard to keep it, especially considering the panic that comes on sometimes. Sometimes when it's hard to breathe. Truthfully, the leg being gone is bad enough, but the way people look at you, that's when I miss being whole the most. But anyway, do you know any good sad stories? True ones? I wish I could talk about what happened in the trenches the way you do. Might help someone to understand. Freedom? It'll come. In time, I think. I think one day the government will give me back the freedom they took from me. They've squandered my loyalty, my life, and my family. But one day, I think I'll see that cash back from them.
No, you won't. No.
Call it a daydream. But I'm willing to try.
You keep dreaming.
So anyway, tell me a funny story? You seem like you know a few good ones. You know, the government told us to keep our chins up too. But I didn't believe them either. Joy is a clean garden, a clean life, with my favorite plants all growing together proudly. I'm not sure that I'm capable of enjoying people anymore, but the plants are good company. Do you know any happy stories, hopeful ones? For a moment there, just a moment, I felt better about it all too. Home, well, what heartless greedmonger decided what plants get to be beautiful and what plants are weeds anyway? Who said that peony has cash value, but a dandelion is worthy of being torn from its home? Know any good jokes? I'm not so good at telling them anymore. Wish I could tell that one to my sister. They say that God has unconditional love. I don't doubt it, but my love for him is not. Tell me a happy story. Something to make the world seem kind. I liked that.
Oh, good.
There's some hope left for you too, you know. Don't give it away too quickly. The future's already here, friend. Nothing I can do about it, nothing to stop it. As much as I would, as much as I want to, I can't turn it back. The night's over. I should be getting ready to go. I'm headed up this way next. The journey's long, but it's not cruel.
Ah.
There's cruel people in the world, but the road and the mud don't mean anyone any harm. The little flowers in the ditches don't. Look for me, maybe. Perhaps we'll see each other again.
So yeah, I don't know if anyone else was expecting this. I wasn't, and I'm curious on if any of the other characters are going to change and what they're going to look like when they change, because that was freaky. But after this, I try to plan my route again after freaking out some more, which you cannot tell I am doing because that you can't see me. But yeah, that was terrifying. I don't know why I was so terrified. I know I still need to go west. I'm pretty sure, because everything in my mind was west. I just need to figure out which way I want to go west. Like, do I want to go to Ohio? Nah. Do I want to go to Indiana? Yeah, pretty much, because it is the westiest west that there can west at the moment with characters available. So that is pretty much what I plan out to do, because, again, I like planning things. I don't know what to tell you.
The corridors of Cincinnati's music hall reverberate with the sounds of an orchestra warming up for rehearsal.
If we unbolt the light rig, we can crush them,
Says a voice up ahead. No, another answers. Hiding Baldy's baton will be sufficient to stop the din.
What the fuck?
The tuxedoed men are slightly transparent. Mustachio on the right has his arms folded. The weaselly one on the left scowls. They start at your arrival.
I'm gonna undo those bolts.
Weasel feature vanishes into thin air.
Damn it all.
Says the other man.
We used to be members of the orchestra until, well, you know. Patrick doesn't care for the new blood. It seems like talent died with us. So he does his damnedest to stop them playing. But I can't allow violence against fellow artists. Help me stop him. With the right tool, you can banish them from the hall. You see, no spirit can stand the sound of the purest of all instruments. No. No. No.
Shakes his head, exasperated.
No. The triangle.
Ah,
The orchestra has one, but their percussionist's a sop. He never hits it right. If you can get there, you can ensure the only thing brutalized here today is Chopin.
go into
The
the hall.
orchestra is midway through practice. They're in dire need of it. The percussionist dozes on his stool. Everyone's oblivious to the muttering from the lighting rig.
Rush for the
You
triangle.
sprint down the aisle and elbow through the incensed musicians. The percussionist falls off his stool as you clamber over his xylophone. You grab the beater and bring it down onto the triangle, eliciting a pure, resounding note. And
Yes.
the rafters ring with laughter. The mustachioed ghost appears next to you, doubled over, invisible to the furious orchestra.
I never thought you'd fall for that. The triangle, for God's sake. Thanks for shutting them up, though.
Those ghosts were rude. I appreciate it, but they're rude. So let's see. What do I go from doing here? I look at what kind of foods and ice creams they have. Ice cream's so delicious. I want ice cream right now, but I'm not gonna have any. There's a story that's changed, which I'm not gonna be able to read because for some reason it's so blurry. But there's this creepy guy, and let's see. They're telling a story about the mountains in Denver that hold amber, apparently, or they hold voices like amber, which I think is very beautiful. I love how they changed that story. I appreciate it 100%. This guy looks very creepy, but their storytelling is very romantic, and I appreciate it very much.
You've seen migrant camps before, and they tend to look like the town dump. This one, though, on a good day, this could pass for a town. Starched white tents stand tall and many, and a stroll through the grounds finds you neither trash nor trouble. You hear some chatter from a large tent on your left. On your right, a tent in the shadow of the trees emanates a soft buzz. You pass through a shroud of flies into a
Ah,
curtained waiting area. The air is pregnant with the stench of rotten meat, but the area is empty, almost clean, except for the black stains that have seeped into the soil. There's only the curtain, which reaches all the way from one end of the tent to the other. It wears a black overcoat and a white porcelain mask with a fat, sharp beak. There's a butcher's knife in its gloved hand. "This is the pest house," it snaps in a woman's voice and yanks the curtain shut.
It's a funny thing, someone looking right through you. But don't lie to me, friend. I know you want to know the truth, what it really means to be a porter. Well, I can tell you it's more than making white folks happy. That's just how it's supposed to look. But you go on so long being how you're supposed to, you're not quite sure how to go back to what you are. Though I suppose I can give it a try. Anyway, I'm in the mood for a good happy story. You got any? A positive attitude. That's what I like to hear.
it's still not open. Oh, shh.
Travel. It's not just people riding on these railroads. See, most days I'll pick up a newspaper or a magazine or an album somebody left behind. Then I'll give it a read or a listen and maybe even sell it someplace where they don't know Bessie Smith yet. Have any optimistic tales? I'd like to hear one of those. Just like I told you, friend, miles of smiles. Freedom. That's what the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters is about. Getting our freedom. Some folks in this country ain't too fond of unions, socialism, or anything that's got them scared somebody's gonna grab what's theirs. And they're especially ornery when it's black folks organizing their labor. They think there's not enough freedom to go around. I guess we'll find out. Anyway, you must have some funny stories to tell. Share one. Oh, that's a good one. Very good. The past. We porters have to leave the way we used to think behind. Before, we were all just worrying about how to make it through the next day, the next 10,000 miles. But together, we got to put what's behind us, and keep it there. Now that we've got the Brotherhood, we porters have a bigger future to think about. Have any optimistic tales? I'd like to hear one of those. Just like I told you, friend, miles of smiles. Home for a porter is the next train station. It's a warm Baker heater stove in the middle of cramped living quarters. You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them? That's a wild one, all right. Authority. You know why they stopped calling us all George? Some white folks named George got angry, formed a group, and complained about it. If we didn't even have the power to decide our own names, what did we have? We needed Mr. Randolph and the Brotherhood. Another night over. I've got to get going. My journey takes me down the rails this way, but it was good talking to you. And how'd you like that, Sharon? Our dark silhouette's a little easier to make out. Sooner or later, the whole world's got to know what we really are and what's it really like. That's the only way we're really gonna matter to anyone besides ourselves. And now that you know the bad, doesn't the good sound that much better? Sharing goes both ways, though. Is your truth a little more complicated, too?
Surrounded by fields of corn and rye, a small farm lies fallow. Its tiny stable crumbles into disrepair, and foxtails sprout from its fields. Inside, the sunlight filtering in through two small windows turns to hazy gray shafts in the thick dust that blankets the interior. There's not much in the way of furniture, but on a rustic kitchen table, a handwritten note catches your eye. Never opened. It's addressed to Martha and unsigned. Her name is written in the stiff letters of a man for whom literacy is more a formality than habit. If you find this, I'm already gone. Don't come looking for me. The rest is scratchy spirals and circles of halfway readable writing about the noises from the cellar and the hunger in the darkness. The cellar door at the edge of the abandoned kitchen calls to your attention. The door is unlatched. The ground below is deeply stained with some dark residue you can't identify. Upon it, only ancient piles of chains and manacles, slowly turning to rust. The baby buffalo lies tangled by a fence, wire biting into its flesh. Please, it says, I must reach the sanctuary before they find me. The light here has a thin quality. Colors are oddly muted. There's a taste of something old in the air. They were hunters of my kind. I am the last born. Every year it repeats. I must run. They must chase. It is the cycle that lets my people survive. You hear hoofbeats. A ways back down the road, a cloud of dust rises. The buffalo struggles. Please, help me. The wire cuts into your hands, but you untangle the animal. The buffalo charges off as soon as it's free. Come on. You glance behind. A trio of riders emerges at the head of the dust cloud.
Follow the buff.
You run alongside the buffalo. Not far. It grunts. Just ahead. You see the boundary, a line of rocks that mark the border, but the hoofbeats sound close. The ground dips, and the beast stumbles and falls. I'll be on you any second. Snatch up the beast and run for the boundary line. All you can hear is the pounding hooves and the whooping of the riders. They're on you just before you reach the line. You hurl the buff forward as you fall.
Look up.
The buffalo crosses the line and turns with a defiant bellow, a primal sound that far outstrips its size. It drags its feet through the dirt, kicking up a cloud of dust. When it settles, the four are nowhere to be seen. You hear the distant clamor of a herd in emotion.
Okay, that was not a baby buffalo. Okay, I call bull spit. That is not a baby buffalo. You cannot tell me that that was a baby buffalo. Again, I can't see anything, but they're changing a story again. The story is about bootleggers getting shoot up with the cops, which I've been trying to get this story to change for forever. I've had that story in my pocket since like the beginning of the game, and it just now is changing. So I'm very happy about that.
The man lowers his paper as you come near. His weather-beaten face is drawn. They say it's spreading. The dust is strangling the land. Half my cattle suffocated in the last storm. We cut open the carcasses to salvage the meat. They were filled with mud. His cracked lips. They stay dry. His land is dying. If the harvest fails again, people will too. You look past him, over his dust-choked fields. You can't imagine anything growing here. There's as much luck to be had around here as there is rain. He glances at the empty sky, then fixes his eyes on you. Nah, harvest will fail, the land will die, and all this will turn to desert. You walk on, trying to ignore the feel of sand in your shoes.
And here we are in St. Louis, getting our health back with some ooey gooey butter cake. I really want to try it. And then I try to figure out if I am actually going to Colorado or somewhere else. And I am indeed going to Colorado. So then I'm like, I could take the train. Can I take the train? I can take the train, but I don't have money for the train. Therefore, I need to earn money. So then I try to look for work, and I get a hospital job with very, very messy instructions. Well, not messy, but like there's a lot of instructions. And apparently it's too many instructions for me to be able to follow, and I can't find the nurse who told me how to mop things. So even though I tell her that I got it, I just decide to mop the floors at random, and apparently it works out well because I get paid, which is fantastic because I like money. It's a little worrisome that people weren't able to do this job as well as I did when I was just doing it randomly, but hey, who am I to judge? I've never been a janitor before in my life. So after that, I have the money to go to Colorado, and I'm speaking faster than this is going because, you know, I was actually reading things at the time, and I can't read now. But I get to go to Denver, Colorado. Yay! Fast travel! It's the best thing ever! And then I get to go to meet my friend. But first I have to find out this story and how it's changed. And let's see if I can actually read what was here. I cannot read this. Boy listens to a woman or sister, brother. I don't know. I'm catching words here. But the boy is enraptured about a story. Travelers who move at the speed of a snail. Ah, yes, that one.
Hey there, amigo.
Yo.
Looks like we're both still hanging on.
E.
Run into any lawmen since we met last?
Nah.
Seen any fences they wouldn't let you cross? Seems like the whole world's getting tied up in chains these days. Wonder how long it'll be before they tie me up, too. I bet you've seen some really wild, exciting stuff out there, though. Tell me about it. What a story. Man, I'd never go bored sharing a campfire with you. Authority. Talking about the people in charge? Well, this desert don't belong to nobody. And no one's got the authority to draw lines in the sand, especially not with steel and asphalt. So, you got any good sad stories to share? That's a heavy one. Thanks for telling it.
You're welcome.
Even though I ain't got no job, I still got my freedom. And that's worth more than any work you can find. So, you know any good jokes? Huh. And that's happiness for you. The future ain't looking good. The way that war ended, those bombs, it don't sit right with me. Bad winds blow from White Sands. You can feel it in the air coming out over the San Andreas. But anyway, you know some funny stories, right? Oh, that's a good one. I'm gonna tell that one next time I share a campfire. Joy, you ever get to see a desert rain? No matter where you are, everything from the cacti to the coyotes, I swear you can see them all dancing for joy. So, you know any good jokes? You're funny as hell, you know that? Morals? Ain't nothing moral about roping off the open range, locking it down and keeping it off limits to the very folks who live here. Gonna lose too much water if I keep going on like that. And the sun's rising too. Time to get going. My path takes me this way, out across the desert.
I'm not going that way.
I'll see you some other time, amigo.
Adios.
And that's the end of that awful, awful, awful shenaniganry. You can go cry in a corner like I am about to do once I start buffering this video, rendering this video. Yeah, I'm gonna cry then, and then when I'm uploading, I'm gonna cry. It's so unfortunate. But next time we're going to be continuing to the west. We're going to go to Utah, and I'm going to make triple decker sure that everything's not going to break, because this was very unfortunate. Like, the game recording broke, the audio recording broke. Very unfortunate. This is like the third time it's happened where something has messed with the audio. But this is the first time that we've actually been able to fix it kind of just a little bit so that I could upload what I made. So there's that at least. And also I kind of found a workaround for the video not recording, kind of, just a little bit. Unfortunately, this game does not let you select a save or anything. So when I found out that it wasn't recording, there was no way to save it. It was busted. This whole thing is busted. I'm sorry. But hey, more reason for you to play the game yourself, right? Right? Anyways, I hope you all are having a lovely morning, evening, afternoon. I am not. Obviously, clearly, I am not. But tea might help. Tea will help, and a walk and a tea. That is what I'm going to go do after crying and uploading and all the things. I'm just gonna. Oh, I need to go scream into a pillow or something. But if you guys know of any books, movies, or shows, or even songs that relate to the themes of this game, please send them my way. That is something that I asked for in this video that had to get cut because audio breaking, so I'm putting it back in. If you know of anything that has the same flavor as this game, that's a book, movie, anything, please send it my way in the comments below. I want to dive into it so bad, so hard. This thing is so good. I love this game so much. But I'm going to go ahead and leave you here, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye!